Welcome back, students of Rabbi Yishak Arama. We are learning Parashat Vayera. Specifically, we're going to delve in to the introductory Pesukim to the destruction of the city of Sedom. But before we see Rabbi Yishak Arama's unique commentary and approach to that story, we were going to learn the approach of the Ramban to Nisyonot, to tests. And the Ramban, specifically at the end of the Parasha, when we learn about the sacrifice of Yitzchak, says that a test that Borei Olam implements onto a person is really only for a tzaddik. V'daki Hashem tzaddik yivchan kishu yodea b'tzaddik she'aseh retzono v'chafetz latzidko. God, omniscient, knows that tzaddik is good and wants to reward the tzaddik and gives him a nisayon, a test, that the tzaddik is going to pass and thus earns the reward that Borei Olam will provide him. Yitzaveh oto b'nisayon v'lo yibchaen et haresha'im asher lo yishma'u. But God isn't testing the resha'im that they are going to fail. He makes a blanket statement that all of the tests, the nisyonot that are in the Torah, are for the betterment and for the good of the person being tested, for the tzaddikim. Now, let's look at the following pesukim and see how Rabbi Yitzchak Arama notices that there is a test taking place in the city of Sedom itself. And the city of Sedom, there was crying out going from the city, and it was so great that their sins were heavy to the extent that it was unbearable anymore. Now, we know from this pasuk kaf, that the city of Sedom, they're sinners, which makes the next pasuk very difficult. Difficult because of the phrase that's used referring to Borei Olam, and also difficult because it seems to be unnecessary. First of all, erdana ve'er'eh. God says, let me go down and see. The difficulty first is, what does God need to go down from? He doesn't occupy space. Number two, what does he need to see? He knows everything. And especially, he knows what's going on with Sedom. It's been said in the previous pasuk. So what more needs to be found out? What more needs to be seen, to be discovered? And the pasuk continues, Haketza'akata haba elai asu kala. This crying out that is coming towards me, is it being done? If so, they shall be destroyed. V'im lo eda'a. And if not, I'll know what to do with them. Now, immediately after this statement, Vayifnu misham ha'anashim, and Borei Olam sends over those malachim, those people, to the city of Sedom. Vayelech Sedom v'Avraham odenu amed lifnei Adonai, and Avraham is still standing in front of Borei Olam, and right afterwards proceeds to defend Sedom with his countdown of 50 people, all the way down to 10 people, to try to save the city. Now, over here, Yitzchak Arama says, in contrast to the Ramban, tests can be done to everybody, the tzaddik as well as the rasha. And specifically, a concept which he refers to as gemar din. Gemar din is when it comes time to make the judgment on that person or on those people. There's many things that took place. Now God is coming and he's going to judge them. But before God judges them, he tests them before the judgment. Whether it's a tzaddik, whether it's a rasha, the nisayon is going to arise before Borei Olam and is going to determine what kind of judgment is being given. If the person was good and passed that test, oh, very good, he'll be rewarded. And the wicked will be punished. And he claims that this is something that takes place throughout the Torah. So what is the test he's thinking about is taking place by the city of Sedom. God sent those malachim. That is the test. How so? That was the test. He sends down these malachim, and we want to see, how do the people of Sedom treat these strangers that come into their town? When God says, let me go down and let me see, this is God going down and seeing. The angels going down the Sham. This is God going down essentially through that proxy. And if it is so that they act in this wicked fashion that they've been acting so far with these malachim, that's it. That's going to be their judgment. They failed this specific test, which the judgment is going to be predicated on. And if not, if they do pass the test, meaning if they do treat them properly and they don't do the terrible things to these guests, then Borei Olam will have to deal with that separately. Now that test went out and actually was being effective in reality, now how badly did they fail this test? Miserably. Everyone in the city went out and they tried to abuse these guests that were there. And not only the regular citizens of the city, but even Lot, who's supposed to be the tzaddik of the town, his son-in-laws, they also fail. They mock Lot. They don't listen to Lot. Now the judgment has been passed. After the test, Borei Olam can now judge them and give them the punishment that they deserve. In other words, what we're seeing here in this week's parasha is that there isn't just one nisayon test. There, in fact, is two. To the city of Sedom, which is a test that they fail, and at the end of the parasha by Abraham, with the sacrificing of Yitzchak, V'Elohim nisait Abraham. Over there, Abraham passes that test with flying colors. That is the mahut, the nature, the essence of a nisayon, that before Borei Olam judges and sends out that destruction, the punishment, or the reward, he gives that person an opportunity to prove themselves and to make themselves either righteous or wicked. And this is the chidush of Yishak Arama on the parasha. Please stay tuned for next week as we learn Parashat Chayei Sarah together on Parasha Study Plus. Shabbat Shalom and have a great day.